jewelry in my chain say.
One more map separates us from knowing who takes this series win. Scrawny and Vince here with you guys to take you through Dust2, a map that Cloud9 have played and have lost, but more often than not versus top-tier North American opponents. Vince, they'll have their hands full. I think TeamOne have shown us that they can kick into all sorts of different gears. What happens on Dust2 is time to find out.
It all comes down to this, Scrawny, and considering that, had an up and down performance, I think it's safe to say, against Furia, who are by far the favorites to take the entire thing. This game could be pretty indicative for which team comes second. There's actually a lot on the line here already in their opening game of the tournament. And with TeamOne performing so well, with Maluk having such a huge, important performance with his AWP, I am so curious to see how that battle between him and OC will play out.
Well, it's time to find out. Listen, pistol rounds have not been the allies of Cloud9. I'll give you that much. Oh, and it's Pesa to start it off perfectly. One tap to the top of mid. Floppy tries to give chase with the one kill, but also PRT trying to fade back into the bomb site. He gets away far enough. Nobody wants to hyperextend there towards Catwalk. They have different plans. They want to sink this into the B site. Maluk off the flash, trying to screw with the T's, but they get through that doorway. Barton falls, and PRT can't quite catch them before they get that bomb down. Man advantage here for Cloud9.
Man advantage, and the post plant coming into fruition. PRT up on the boxes, looking to try and push and protrude his way out of window. And OC shatters his teammate. Mobs sent reeling. PRT gonna have multiple angles to contend with once he pushes through the doorway. Gonna get found out by two players. Only had 3 bullets left. 1 in the magazine, 2 in reserve. And he knew that his days were numbered, and Cloud9 take the pistol and put themselves into winning ways to kick things off.
Floppy doing the dirty. Jumping kneecap jump shot. What the heck is going on, Vince? Sometimes I don't understand pistols. Floppy clearly does. 142 ADR coming off of that first round. Double scout setup here, peering through the mid doors. Deagle's over on long, and a great bit of softening damage done by their grenade. Now, scout gets into position, and long has been forfeited to the control of Cloud9. Hopefully for TeamOne, this plays out in the sense that maybe they'd overface a guy like Maluk, one of those 2 scout players, but instead, Cloud9 head elsewhere.
Very heavy investment as well, isn't it, from Cloud9? They didn't pick up a single SMG. They went full rifles. So multiple Galils and AKs, meaning that if TeamOne can take down 3 or 4 players here, it actually could catch up with Cloud9 going forward. Of course, TeamOne have also full forced themselves. But this could be an early banana peel that Cloud9 are about to stumble and trip on. OC already tagged, already been winged by a scout, and JT has been as well. He gets finished off by Barty, who keeps going up, keeps landing shots, keeps getting fragged, and now they're moving into Pesa as well. Oh no, TM has to try and clutch a 1 versus 4, and he's been tagged. He holds down the line with the spray, but Pesa chips in for another one. And Cloud9 not only have stumbled, they've tripped and they face planted.
Barton, I mean, first of all, that long shot Deagle, okay. But Barton on that back flat doing damage. I believe hitting 3 of the 4 scout shots, missing 1 once they had already gotten past that car, and then a helping hand from Pesa off of the windowsill. That's huge. Cloud9, I said that pistol rounds had been a problem, Vince. Well, so have some of these anti-ecos, or rather anti-force, whatever you want to call it. TeamOne did not have the favor going into that second round, and they somehow walk away with it. 2 of their 5 rifles offered over thanks to the investments of Cloud9. And Cloud9's investments transition them into this force here in the third. We've got the MAC-10 on Modem, heavy utility for a couple of these guys, and the Deagles do enough damage. Run boost offsets anybody who would be close, but the CT setup very much relies on Maluk towards the game helper, just chilling on cross, waiting to put an end to this.
The Discotheque MOTM MAC-10 ripping and shreds PRT. There's going to be more where that came from. Another kill straight into the mix, and now Pesa lines them up and sprays them out. It's going to be a 3K to him, and TeamOne bypassed the force buy. It was a bit rocky to start off with. MOTM did get a chunk of cash, but things went the way that we expected.
Here it is, Pesa just staying as close to the wall as he can, peeks up, rat-a-titty-tat-tat-tat, gets them all cleaned up so easy. So a chance to make a little bit more money, a chance to risk away the lackluster guns that still exist here. PRT, MP9, 4 Ts on the other side, and he only gets himself the one. OC's Glock connects between the eyes. And so the 4v4 ensues, but it's not one of the rifles they've offered over. As we said, they had things to take a risk with, and that's exactly what we saw unfold there towards the tunnels. Oh, yes! Pesa, just a couple of bullets through the doors. Only takes one versus those unarmored heads of Cloud9. They're going to get their bomb plant, though, so props to them. There's something to write home about, at least here in the fourth.
But the underlining message at the end of said note is going to say TeamOne 3, Cloud9 1. That being said, though, with the post plant, they are going to have enough for an AWP if they so choose. And look, it's Dust2. I'm just going to go ahead and assume it's going to be at least one AWP. They've got enough to support 2. Whether they want to go for 2 right off the bat is yet to be seen. But I'd be amazed if OC doesn't pick one up for himself at least.
Do it. Got Maluk with the op. And that's that. So 1 per side. I'm down to see it. You know, I feel like we've had the rumblings of an op duel kind of starting across the 2 maps, but now's the time to really, truly see it. Out the gate, OC not going to find any success towards long. Lots of utility being expended by TeamOne on that side of the map. And again, this cat control that Cloud9 have been given for relatively free. I think TeamOne, they like setting up that trap towards ramp side. Let the terrorists have a false sense of confidence and step into their own deaths. They put themselves on the conveyor belt to the meat cruncher that awaits them on A. But seeing as they're awaiting something, PRT decides to get ever closer to that smoke, and at a moment's notice, he could just parade right through it. They want that information, and instead, he loses his head. 5 versus 4 for Cloud9 bodes well, perhaps, unless TeamOne claw this back. But how?
Yeah, it's difficult to see potential inroads and how they can maybe hold the line here, barring just a really slick bit of aim. Because Cloud9 still have tons of utility at their disposal. 4 players brimming to the full. 3 smokes now being tossed out. They can even drop into the likes of the CT, can Molotov the backside. They're watching for any potential flanks from long side as well. So it's hard to see how TeamOne get this done. Now, one thing that may work against Cloud9 is if they take too long. They've only got 25 seconds left, and they need to bypass this middle crunch. They've done significant damage, but taken it in return. And Barton goes aggressive. He knows that he has to get at least 1 kill on his way out. He's 100% dead, and he does just that, giving his team a chance. It's a glimmer of hope as they look to annul the marriage on this B site with the bomb plant, but they decide, not worth it. We want to hold on to the weapons that we possess. Let them have this one. The kill from mobs maybe just suckers them back in, but no, he just picks up the AK instead. I like this decision, Scrawny. You have the advantage. You've got some weapons. Don't throw them away.
I mean, listen, we saw the glimmer of hope, but Vince, I also saw the flashbacks to the second map. Remember that round where they tried to squeeze into the A site? You know, I think Maui spent a good amount of time on the desk in between, really kind of alluding to this heavy default Cloud9 are trying to rely on. And we saw it here again. On Inferno, we had the round where Modem wasn't able to get into the site fast enough from Arch to deal with Maluk, who shut down the short side. Well, if it wasn't for Sonic coming out of that tunnel at that perfect moment, then Barton, who had already picked up 1 kill, had softened opponents still in mid, because even though the T's took away the vision from CT spawn, the damage was racking up there to the favor of TeamOne. Sonic nails it though, so it's nice to see Cloud9 a bit more crisp. Sure, we started to get nervous as that time ticked down, but PRT wastes no time this round. 2 kills off of the cat play. Pesa with the double flash assist and a 5v3 at a minute 35.
All the pressure now being twisted and push directly in the face of Cloud9. Barton changing up of his angles on defense. Has a second player with him this time, which is going to be Pacer. Taking those early frags really does allow you to stack more players in these positions and be more static. Good spray through the smoke. And only Pacer is going to fall. Other than that, TeamOne looking good. Resetting the economy one more time. Couple players have enough to justify maybe a little bit of a cheeky half buy. Maybe you can get a deagle in play, maybe even a scout. But in terms of a full purchase, it will not be happening this time around.
No, sir. Going to have to buy their time. So what comes through? No scout per se. Couple sets of Kevlar. Nice bit of utility. Oh, look, we got a little exchange going on in spawn as well, Vince. You know, you share your toys. No one likes a ball hog.
Sorry, I'm tired. My mind went to a very strange place.
Yeah, ball hog got you excited, Vince? Settle down now, big guy.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, Cloud9 getting closer to the catwalk, trying to work into the A site. And what lies in wait? A very patient TeamOne. Compared to what we saw last round where they go just stampeding into this, they sit back, keep a guy on Goose, whose feathers have yet to be ruffled. No utility to really do it to him. Maybe the molly lands on the mark. JT did just throw it forward, and sure enough, it hits him. Maluk's going to get a little bit of flashbangs in his eyes. Pesta, 12 and 2, doing work on these anti-ecos, just constantly shutting down the T's once they reach the site. Not before it over deep in cat, but rather when they're just a couple of steps away. They can almost see the finish line. And slap across the face, sit down. You've got 2 rounds, and that's all you're allowed so far. But Vince, there's a buy on the cards, and I see OC with an op. I get excited.
As do I, and even though they're losing 5-2, he has 97 ADR with 5 assists. The guy's been tagging tons. He's just not been reaping the kills. He's been laying them up for the slam dunk for his teammates, but overall, they've not been quite getting that job done successfully enough. Early, long control being established, however. MOTM already perched in pit. They are by and large giving up elsewhere on the map, however. Smoke down onto car, faking as if a player could be there, messing with the minds of Cloud9, forcing them to at least take a little bit more time to check their angles. And in doing so, there is a slight gap in this smoke for Molbs. He can see them cross right now. If Cloud9 push out, this could be a massacre. This could be a disaster waiting to happen.
Follow-up smoke, ×2, properly done. Tries to lay down the damage nonetheless, but it's negligible. 1/3 of Sonic's health gone, but Modem takes Maluk. Malbs on the other side of the smoke has reinforcements coming over. Not afforded any sort of a peek. Sonic, more utility damage. There's the boost, perfectly timed. Pesto with another 2. He's a pest all the time on this A site. OC is going to try to move forward. Aha, an AK barrel scene. What a tease. Oh, and even despite being blind, he finds the perfect timing, gets the kill. The 2v2 ensues. 25 seconds. Bombs down on site. They don't have the ability to cross with cover. They need the cover of the guns. And PRT, lucky to be alive. OC, 5-5-5, trying to get his team in position. JT has to plant that bomb, and he can do so safely. No Molotov will land on him. They've got themselves the post plant. But Barton, just as quick, comes barreling up from catwalk. OC dropping a shot, a crucial chance at the kill. There's the second miss, and that one's gonna cost him. A 6th round on the board for TeamOne.
Excellent shoulder peek from PRT as well, baiting out that second shot from OC. If he can connect one of those shots, he can then bypass all of the problems. He can then wait for that last player to peek into his crosshair. But the fact that PRT shoulder peeks, draws out the shot, nullifies him, huge. But you've already highlighted him. Pacer, 14-4, 168 ADR, 97 utility damage. And here's the kicker, 10 effective flashes. The guy is doing it all.
Bottom tries to give chase. Ooh. Close one. Maluk. Oh, he's making noise. He doesn't think Bottom's this close. That's an easy pickup. Oh, it's supposed to be. Maybe he would have had a better chance at that second frag had the first one been a bit smoother. PRT in position. Tapping at the heads of the players on cross. A 7th round for the Brazilian squad. 5 rounds the difference as another unsuccessful eco for Cloud9 kind of fizzles out at that A bomb site. Modem could have had it. It was a tall order, to be fair, those 2 kills down on CT, but he definitely would have had a better chance had the first headshot connected.
100%. Most players can, I mean, at the very highest level, of course, they can memorize the entire spray pattern. But of course, each bullet passing through the spray pattern changes slightly, and it can become easier at further distances if you get it done earlier on. It's less sporadic, it's less erratic. So I completely agree with you. I think he had a better chance at the double spray. That being said, though, even if he does land both kills, his team was still in a horrible spot. I mean, TeamOne. I just can't believe the resolve that these guys have shown. The fact that they've gone through so many gears to get to this stage after that first map. Like, I came into this, I'd seen them a bunch of times. I knew a lot about the team, but not enough to feel like really confident in them. They've made a fan out of me, man. I've got to be honest. I've really enjoyed watching them play.
Yeah, and it's still not over. They've got more to offer. It's just been so solid here on this A site. Nice nade damage. Maluk still inside of the smoke, decides to double back. And good call, man. There's a lot of presence here from Cloud9 on the other side of those doors. OC most notably looking for his op shot. Mobs will boost the sniper. That could have lent Maluk into the long peak, but maybe he doesn't want to come face to face with the majority of Cloud9. Instead, if he cuts off the cat player who thinks he's safe as all hell, Sonic, you've got to be wary of this. It's an op walking up on him. Oh, Lord, he is so close posted. Maluk almost clears the corner. Sonic, he's going to walk into it. Gut punch from the sniper. Now an all-in from Cloud9, trying desperately to cross. Again, they just want footing on this A site. And Maluk, he's going to have a nice angle, but he takes shots through the wall, shrapnel in his head as he tries to find the line here. Man advantage for Cloud9 and the post plant.
It seems like they may have done enough. Those 2 kills from OC alongside MOTM may have been enough. And even though there is enough money on each of these 3 players, you're looking at Pacer and you're looking at Mulbs. They're the issue right now, economically speaking. And you're in a 7-3 lead, so again, why would you throw away the orb? Why would you throw an AK-47, which you absolutely can't get on the CT side, of course? So makes perfect sense for me to save. They could even dip in for a second orb if they so choose. They've got more than enough funds to justify that. But a part of me just thinks, Scrawny, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know, you don't overreact to losing 1 round. Up until this point, you've looked pretty damn good. So more of the same, maybe.
Should be. I'm okay with that. I mean, again, it's nice to have the option there. And Vince, it may not be broken, so it has no need to fix it. But I think they're looking to break what's on the other side. Double sniper setup versus Cloud9. And OC looks to take that mid duel. 3 CTs on an early cross. Lots of grenades being thrown over on long, but it's that cat presence that's immediately taken. This heavy of an investment, if Cloud9 get easy kills, TeamOne, they're going to have to justify saving on that B site. Let's see what this A site can hold. Mobs, 1 kill immediately, but Modem trades it. Maluk, in a high-pressure situation, gets the close shot, has a chance, misses the second, but there was his key. A potential frag versus OC. Instead, the bomb will get thrown over, but he at least did enough on his own, Vince, to justify a retake attempt. TeamOne, will they go for this? Yes, already. They're sprinting in from cat. They didn't even wait at all. This isn't a retake. There's no post plant yet. OC, the last man with a head for the side of Cloud9, and he gets wrecked by Barton, who has the balls to walk through smoke with an op of all things.
And I think that's why they went for it, Scrawny. They knew that to plant the bomb, you're effectively going to be in a 2v3 for about 5 or so seconds, right? So why not at least put the feelers out there? If one player is preoccupied trying to get the plant down, you can pick off his teammates. You can try and make the most of the situation during that momentary weakness. And Cloud9 just walked into it blind. They just got blindsided by TeamOne and utterly wrecked. They're not going to keep both ops. They're happy enough to just keep the one. But Cloud9, they're in real trouble.
Big time. Economy's not really working for them. Cash starting to stack up on a couple of pieces of TeamOne. Oh man, this was This is an exciting map, Vince. TeamOne, I thought they were so out of this. I was like, okay, good job, guys. You get the new play yesterday, but when they lost map 1, I didn't think they'd ever be in convincing control, but they have been for now a map and a half. Maluk's cooled off ever so slightly since Inferno, but the man did his job. If it's time for Pesa to step up, by all means, let's see it. Speaking of a need to step up, poor JT down in the depths of that scoreboard. 1 kill to his name, 12 rounds deep.
It seems like Cloud9, they've not been able to all fire on all cylinders at the same time. We've had glimpses. Sonic on Nuke was big. We had OC in part as well, but JT slumping. Sonic's having another poor day at the office. And these are things that can start to stack up. But Cloud9, they still have a chance. They still have an opportunity to get themselves back into this half. But Maluk is taking it away from them. He's snatching this game away, kill by kill, putting them further and further behind. 10 seconds to go. Bomb is going to get planted. At least this time we are talking about a post-plant, but it is going to be a heavy deficit. A good trade back. Going to go heavily in favor with Maluk's 3rd of the round. He's not going to get any more. He won't care because TeamOne have picked up a 9th.
I'm talking yams about Maluk here. So, yeah, drops off, man. Turns around and cracks open that 3K. And the most miraculous part of all that, Vince, it's through the shower of flashbangs that he was met the entire time. Look, flash, frag, flash, frag, flash, frag, no flash, because everybody's dead. Nicely done by Maluk in the end. And that is why there is this big difference. But look at the scoreboard. If we could bring that up, 18-6 on Pesa. You know, there have been moments throughout the match where everybody's looked good here and there. Nobody has had this heavy of a lopsided top fragger until now. The most important map 3, the winner of this going on to face Furia in a winner's decider for playoffs, and the loser facing tomorrow for elimination on the line. Cloud9, they do not want to find themselves down there, and they have to turn around this half of the 3rd map right now.
It's a similar position to where we found ourselves on an Inferno, where a lot of rounds were close, and we're saying, all it takes is for them to just get successful, and it never really came. We were constantly waiting. We were constantly being disappointed by Cloud9. Another trade. Maluk peaks 1 too many times, and he does get punished. And this should be the way forward for Cloud9 to start getting more rounds. But PRT through the smoke just before it fully plumes is going to get the kill. 3-on-3 with a low OC on top of it. And the bomb hasn't been planted. Pesa just pushes through the smoke and gets 2. Oh no, Cloud9, they just can't catch a break, Scrawny.
Vince, what's happening? Pesa just running through smoke, swivels around. 3 kills later, we've got him now above 20 frags. Take a look again. The next highest out of everybody on either team is Modem at 12. And to contrast those top fraggers, may I add, Modem crossing long smoke before they had actually popped, when just seconds later he would have full coverage. Did you see how big of a gap there was in that smoke? It's sometimes you got to take a chance and just hop. I get it. Bro, that was 7 men wide that he tried to cover, and never is that going to work out for him. So just utter shutdown happening here versus Cloud9's T side, something that I would argue they rely on when it comes to Dust2. And Pesa, he is everywhere. He tries to tuck into the corner. PRT trades that back, grabbing his 12th kill, and it's Modem at bat in the 1 versus 3 on minimal HP with no bomb to his name yet.
He is omnipresent right now, isn't he? He just doesn't stop fragging, reaping players left and right. And Cloud9, they're going to have nightmares tonight about Pesa on Dust2. Assuming that they concede this game and they effectively go from a 1-0 lead in this best of 3 to being knocked out in a game that they were favored in, Pesa is going to be in their thoughts, man. He's going to be haunting them.
Yeah, I'm taking a look at the guy now, man. Pesadello, his full HLTV alias, 20 years old. I want to take a look at his stats because I want to know just how much of an anomaly this is. And I'm going to go look, Vince, for Dust2 specifically. Like, is this some kind of crazy pocket pick? His average rating is a 1.03. On Dust2 specifically, 1.09. If I turn that into the last 3 months, on Dust2, 1.31 rating, 1.36 impact. He is in the green across all stats.
Jeez. And that's not even taking this game into account, of course.
Yeah, talk about a secret weapon.
Well, Cloud9 didn't realize they'd smuggled in a nuclear warhead on the Dust2, but the nuclear warhead has been momentarily defused and will be for the rest of this half. Can his teammates step up? It's a 1v2. It's going to be Barton up against Sonic and OC. If Cloud9 can pick up a fourth, this second pistol, oh so important, not too far off. The right idea for Barton. Haven't seen him too much with the AWP today. Not entirely sure what he's going to have up his sleeve with this, but he is going to try and play some mind games and push along quickly. Try and catch one of these CTs, or T's, pardon me, off guard. See if he can maybe divide and conquer them. But Scrawny, I'm just not fancying his chances here. He at least has a bit of utility.
Desperate spot to be in. Has the kit at least. Could smoke off catwalk. Could smoke off bomb. Yeah, Molly cat, smoke bomb. No flash to underhand or whatnot. But you know it stinks of desperation. Still he'll try his damnedest. Comes out wide and dies. It's Sonic to put a fourth on the board for Cloud9. But will 4 be enough? Stick around, and after the break, we'll all find out.
I like the way you move your thing. I wanna see you do it.
We have not had a close first half since this series started on Nuke. Another blowout to the favor of TeamOne, sitting pretty at 11-4. And before I could finish my sentence, CTs decide to try and push mid, looking to use those USPs at a distance, but instead dying. 2 of them now dropped to 3. It's OC and JT versus 4.
And this round is just a perfect synopsis for how this game's gone. Like how this map has gone, honestly. And how you could argue Inferno went. Just straight up carnage. And TeamOne coming out ahead, like relatively unaffected. JT is having a true nightmare here. And I don't mean in disrespect to him, but he's 1-15. You know, like, as a commentator, you've just got to kind of point these things out. It is a big integral part to why Cloud9 are being unsuccessful. They're going to go for 3 scouts, already taking damage on Floppy, and I'm kind of out of ideas of what Cloud9 can bring to the table here, Scrawny. I don't feel like they're defeated yet, but this is quickly going to just get out of the realms of possibility unless they step it up.
They're not defeated yet, but they're getting defeated round after round. And it doesn't show any sign of stopping. That's the reality. Individually speaking, TeamOne on point. And I just can't help but think back to Floppy's interview when he alluded to the result of last night. TeamOne beating Cloud9 on Nuke in a best of 1. He said, they're warmed up, we're not. And whether that's because they have played intensively throughout the player break while Cloud9 tried to catch their breath coming off of a long string of events before that exact break, well, maybe that's the difference it's going to make, Vince. Maybe Cloud9, they're still too cool. They haven't been able to fire up the engine fast enough from yesterday to today. It seemed like they would on Nuke for at least the first half, second half, OT, oh so close. Again, our analyst desk talking about how even with Cloud9 picking up that map, it didn't feel like they were leading. And now, I mean, 8 rounds total over the course of the following 2 maps. This is ridiculous. And it's going to be a 10-round lead to the favor of TeamOne unless a couple of measly unarmored pistols can somehow make a difference. A total blowout of a series after the first map. They have 1 more round across the second and third map as they did in the first half of Nuke.
It's absolutely absurd, but so is that lineup. 3 players line up for Sonic and JT, and these are USPs. This was a full save. It's a 2v1.
Just as I tried to paint the most dire of pictures, they just shove my words back down my throat. So, okay, they've got a little life in them, Vince. They've got a little spice still left here. It's a long stack that paid off, but it's also not yet over. Double AK. Damage done to JT. That grenade, 4 HP off the mark. A single bullet will be enough to drop JT, and then it's just versus Sonic, and he doesn't even have armor. Oh, so close. But JT with 3 kills across the map, 2 of which in that 1 round, get Cloud9 a little something more on the board.
I'm watching back this replay, man. I still don't understand how they won that with USPs. It's like TeamOne just ran in each other's way. They just blocked each other straight up. I almost feel like maybe more damage was inflicted from TeamOne onto themselves than Cloud9. They just finished things off with little taps to the head. Very strange, but Maluk with the AWP gets the opening pick onto Floppy as they're looking to try and push and penetrate onto the B site. JT, the lone defender, got a couple kills in the previous round, but he's not going to add to that tally here. Sonic wide peeks the window, gets 1 instantly counted by Maluk. And that should be a 14th round, although OC's frag onto Malbs is going to keep this an interesting prospect, or perhaps not. Judging by the positions of Cloud9, it seems they will be saving.
Yeah, they concede a 14th, so off of the pistol round win. Seems like it may be just the one anomaly. 9-round lead for TeamOne, 2 away from being victorious on Dust2. We talked about that low win rate percentage for Cloud9 on this map, but again, normally very close and normally versus better opponents. For this to be a blowout versus a team like this, I just think the reality of the situation is Cloud9 aren't playing up to what we're used to, and TeamOne are showing us what they can offer. This is awesome. You know, an event like this is a huge chance for guys like TeamOne, whereas Cloud9, no offense, DreamHack Open, love you guys to death, but they were playing with higher stakes over the last few months. This should be a walk in the park, Vince. They themselves said, like, yeah, we'll be in the playoffs. You yourself said that they're a potential for finals, and there's reason to believe historically that is correct. But now, after this, man, this hopefully is just a first day rust that they can shake off before tomorrow's losers BO3, because elimination's on the line, and they'll be playing a team that is most definitely of a lesser caliber, even more so than TeamOne. But with a result like this, so lopsided, what's to tell me, yeah, can't make that upset happen?
Honestly, this performance and this result just gives me so many question marks over this roster right now. I mean, I'm not going to look too much into it because, as you said, it's just after the player break, etc. So we'll give them a grace period. Maybe it is just a blip on the radar, but I'd say their first blip was last night when they lost to TeamOne. And this is more of the same. So I'm not going to, completely write them off this performance. But if they continue in this tournament and they get blown out like this again, I'm going to be wondering what the hell's going on with this Cloud9 roster. Meanwhile, it looks like they'll be pushing into the site with JT with a deagle, gets one but traded out straight away. Flashbang's being tossed in. OC holds the line for two. That's huge, but they line up and Mob's going to spray them both down where they stand. Floppy and Sonic, last two remaining CTs. Both healthy, just a bit of chip damage to TeamOne, plenty of time left, and a rotation coming into play. Mob's gonna get aggressive, and he gets the reward for doing so. Floppy comes in for the peak for Mass versus Orc, 50 HP versus 0 now, as Maluk does connect. 10 match points. Sorry, Scrody, what were you gonna say?
Not a problem, Vince. It's nice to know. Rely on you to just take it all away. And what I was gonna say was that I would argue, a loss versus this and maybe a fizzle out of the entire event. We were kind of contemplating that idea, that possibility. I think that would be an all-time low for this roster and organization in general. There's big stakes. They've got to turn this around. It's not done here today. The opening matchup that TeamOne have absolutely deserved. An awesome showing that tells me these guys have something to offer. I would be so stoked to see a Brazilian bash between them and Furia. And with one more round separating them from exactly that, I start to get excited. OC, JT, and Modem. 3v3 retake attempt with the match on the line, and they line up for him. It is all on OC. 1v3 or nothing. 1v3 or only 9 rounds across 2 entire maps, one of which your map choice. OC is going to go for the window peek, and that's exactly where it ends. Malbs seals the deal as TeamOne take this in a 2-1 fashion.
I'm kind of at a loss for words here, Scrawny, honestly. I am so impressed with what I saw from TeamOne and so disappointed with what I saw from Cloud9. It's a very bittersweet kind of feeling that I have right now towards what I just saw, but take nothing away from TeamOne. Maluk, very off game on Nuke, stood it up so hard over the last few maps, man. He was amazing.
Even Dust2, I would say, was starting slow. I tried to allude to it. He instantly pops off with like the 3K long A and then still finishes the game with a really respectful scoreline. So what this tells me is A, Cloud9 have to shake off the rust. This is not the performance or the level of play that we expect for them, and especially for guys like Floppy. He is the one we talk about within Cloud9. And secondly, we have a contender in TeamOne. This isn't some last-minute stand-in that's just going to flop. No, sir. This is a real chance for them to turn some heads. They did it already today in their opening game, and their reward is a match versus their Brazilian brethren in Furia. So a really exciting matchup to come. But today we're done, at least here on the cast. We'll have the analysts after the break to unpack it all for you.